I accidentally became the voice of a national ad campaign without knowing it. I swear, I didn't even mean to be in the building. Let me back up. I'm 26, work in IT support at a mid-sized marketing firm in Chicago. Pretty boring stuff. Password resets, have you tried turning it off and on again, the usual. I spend most of my day knee-deep in dusty desktops and printer tantrums. About 6 months ago, our company was working on a huge rebranding deal for some nationwide health drink called Verda Plus. Super green, super vague about what it actually does. Basically, Instagram wellness in a bottle. They were prepping a massive commercial rollout. Fancy lights, camera crews, influencers, you name it. One Friday, I was up on the 5th floor helping fix the creative team's Wi-Fi, and I overheard them arguing over voiceover auditions. They'd been hiring professional voice actors, but none of them were landing the tone they wanted. One guy was too dramatic, another too robotic. The third guy sounded like he was narrating a nature documentary on mushrooms. They were frustrated, and I made some dumb joke like, "Want me to give it a try?" Just trying to lighten the mood. One of the copywriters, a guy named Seth, laughed and shoved a script in my hand. "Sure, IT guy, blow us away." I read it out loud, pretending to be all deep and commercial-like. Verda Plus, clean energy for the messy life. They chuckled, recorded it on someone's phone for fun, and I left. That was it. Thought nothing of it. Literally forgot it happened. Fast forward 2 months. I'm walking through a Walgreens, grabbing some allergy meds, when I stop dead in the aisle. There, playing over the store's speakers, is my voice. Verda Plus, clean energy for the messy life. I froze. No joke, I dropped the bottle of Zyrtec. I was standing there like a malfunctioning NPC, heart racing, trying to process what I was hearing. I thought maybe it was my imagination. Maybe I just thought it sounded like me. But then it happened again, clear as day. I texted Seth, half joking. "Dude, did you seriously use my voice for Verda Plus?" No reply. Not for an hour. Then I get, "Hey, can you talk?" Cue full-on panic mode.
Part 2. My voice was everywhere, and I wasn't even getting paid. When Seth texted me back with, "Hey, can you talk?" I knew I wasn't crazy. We met that night in a bar downtown. I showed up early, already sweating through my hoodie. I'd never been part of anything even close to what I thought this might be. He slid into the booth, didn't even order a drink before going, "Okay, don't freak out." Pro tip, if someone says that, it's already too late. Apparently, when I joked my way through that Verda Plus line, the creative director had been secretly listening in another room. He loved it, called it authentic, organic, relatable, words that make ad people foam at the mouth. So they just went with it, used my recording, cleaned up, EQ'd, tweaked a little, and shipped it. They thought it was easier than hiring a union voice actor, and cheaper, way cheaper. "We were going to tell you," Seth said, but things moved fast. Legal said not to involve more people unless necessary. Legal. That word hit me like a brick. You mean I didn't even sign off on this? They're using my voice on national TV, radio, streaming ads, and I never even said yes? Seth looked genuinely guilty. "You technically read it in office. The file was marked internal. Then things got messy, and yeah." I didn't know whether to laugh or rage. My voice was on Spotify ads, Hulu, YouTube, even on frickin' smart fridges.
My friends had sent memes about the Verda Plus voice, and I had laughed along, not realizing it was me. My little sister once joked, "Hey, that guy kind of sounds like you." Well, the next few weeks were wild. I tried calling HR. They bounced me to legal. Legal ghosted me. I had no contract, no formal agreement, but my audio was everywhere. People at work started treating me weird. Some thought I was secretly raking in cash. Others acted like I was an attention-hungry jerk, soaking in fame I didn't earn. I got DMs from strangers asking if I was the Verda Guy. A girl from Tinder messaged me only to say she'd heard me while watching a yoga video on her TV. My mom texted, "Proud of you?" with 3 question marks. The wildest part? There were fan edits of my voice on TikTok. One guy auto-tuned it into a lo-fi beat. Another stitched it with a clip of a raccoon washing grapes and got 2 million views. I was going viral and didn't even own it. And yet, I couldn't say anything publicly. Verda Plus was now fully invested in this campaign. They couldn't afford a scandal. And since I technically worked for the agency that produced it, everything was in this weird legal limbo. Then I got a call from someone I'd never heard of. Her name was Miranda, and she worked for a talent management agency. She said, "We heard your voice. It's got a really marketable texture. Have you considered doing this professionally?" At first, I thought it was a scam. I almost hung up. But she sent me real links, real clients, real proof. She even knew about the whole situation and offered to represent me pro bono at first to help negotiate a deal with Verda Plus. I was stunned. 2 weeks later, I was in an actual recording booth reading new copy for Verda Plus, this time as a paid talent. The agency caved and offered a modest contract, nothing huge, but still. Retroactive payment, a small buyout for the initial recording, and the option for more spots. I went from fixing printers to cutting voiceovers for a national brand because of a joke. But it wasn't all smooth sailing. I had haters online claiming I was just a plant or a cheap knockoff voice actor. A few coworkers stopped talking to me altogether. I overheard someone say I slept my way into success, which was confusing and impossible. And yet, I couldn't deny it. Part of me loved it. The attention, the chaos, the surrealness of it all. I'd never felt so seen, even if it was just my voice. Part 3. The voice everyone knew except me. So yeah, I became the Verda Plus guy. There were weeks when I couldn't go 2 hours without hearing my own voice pop up on someone's phone, smart speaker, or freaking Peloton. You'd think I'd be thrilled, and in a way I was. I was finally getting paid. I had representation. I even got flown out to LA for a brand panel where I stood on stage, smiled politely, and listened to people call me an example of grassroots authenticity. But here's the part no one tells you about accidental fame. It's weirdly lonely. I was a normal guy who fixed office printers and microwaved leftover spaghetti for dinner. Now people were telling me I had a recognizable vocal presence and asking me to read shampoo ads in the Verda tone. It stopped being fun when it started being work. My weekends disappeared into booths. My evenings became legal negotiations. My inbox overflowed with offers from protein powders, car dealerships, and a funeral service company who wanted that casual warmth. The strangest part? None of it felt real. I'd walk into a convenience store, hear my own voice telling someone to hydrate with balance, and stare at the cashier like, is this real life? Once, a little kid in a Target looked at me and said, "You sound like the ad guy." I didn't have the heart to say, I am the ad guy. And my relationships changed. My sister wouldn't stop calling me Mr. Hollywood. My coworkers treated me like a walking lawsuit. And my best friend Danny, the only guy who used to clown on me for having a radio voice,
started asking me for connections. Can you get me in? What if I do like sound effects or something? It wasn't malicious, but I could tell he didn't see me the same anymore. Like I jumped leagues ahead and left him in the dust, even though I never meant to. But the worst came when Miranda, my manager, called and said, "They want to make you the official face, not just the voice." I laughed. "What do you mean, face?" She said, "They want you on camera. TV spots, billboards, full exposure." I froze. Me? I'm just a guy who talks fast and likes dumb jokes. I have adult acne. I chew my nails. I wear the same hoodie 3 times a week. And they wanted me to represent a sleek wellness brand? I knew this wasn't me. The Verda Guy was a fluke, a voice in a moment, not a brand. That night, I stayed up till 3 a.m. scrolling through comments on one of the campaign's newest ads. There were thousands. Love this guy's voice. Sounds like someone I'd actually trust. Wish they'd show his face. And then one that hit me in the gut. He sounds real. Hope they don't ruin that. That was it. I turned down the offer. Politely, gratefully, but firmly. I told Miranda I'd do voice work, sure, but I wouldn't sell my face, my image, or some fake version of myself. I went back to part-time IT work, not because I had to, but because I missed being around normal people. I still did VO gigs, but only for stuff I actually liked. Verda found someone else for their next big campaign. They even used AI to simulate my voice at one point. Didn't hit the same. Too polished, too perfect. Sometimes I'll still be walking down the aisle at the grocery store and hear my own words echoing over a speaker. I smile. I keep walking. No one recognizes me. And honestly, that's the best part.